Hello everyone, Adhpa here. Welcome back. I've been struggling this week, and I'm sure I'm not alone in that. My little struggle has to do with injuring my back a little bit and working through getting adjustments and healing from that. I sort of made it worse because our Tombo had a little incident, had to go to the animal ER, and I had to catch him. So he's got some bad teeth, and we're getting it taken care of. So he's on the mend for sure. But catching and trying to get into the mouth of a cat, not so good for a wonky back sometimes. But I thought I'd come on here today because it's Saturday. This video will upload and be viewable on Sunday, and that's the eclipse day. I think there's something going on. Something big is happening between the time that I record this and the time that it posts. So it'll be very interesting to see what that is. I feel this. So I thought what I would do just for fun is do a reading to see what is that something, what big is going to happen. So that by the time this video goes up, it should have happened, and we can actually compare and see how valid this process of the card reading and intuition is. So I'm going to defer to my favorite deck and clarifiers for this. That's the Crow Tarot and the Pocket Oracle. Those are my easiest for me to read and get what's coming when I use a clarifier like that. So, all right, so hold on, I'll bring you down, and we'll have a pull to read on what is the big thing that's going to happen that may have already happened by the time this video goes up, or certainly by the end of the day tomorrow. All right, hold on, and I'll bring you down. Okay, so I have done some shuffling, but I will shuffle up a little bit more, and then we're going to pull to see what is the big thing that is going to happen between now and tomorrow that affects the world. I think this is big. It affects the world. Let's see. Tell us about that thing that's going to happen. It's going to happen. What's the big thing? What is the big thing brewing that's going to happen between now and the end of the day tomorrow that affects the world? Just going to keep going until we get one that pops. What's going on? What is this big energy brewing? What is this thing that's going to happen? Sometimes the card does not pop. And what that tells me is maybe this is a very obscure thing. Maybe it's nothing. But we'll give it one more go through and see. I got one that's definitely trying to stay at the back here. Wants to be on the top for sure. We got two that want to be on the top. All right, well, so definitely is giving me a hint, but maybe it means things aren't set in stone yet. Let's have some clarifiers. Clarifiers for what is the big thing brewing that's going to happen between now and the end of the day tomorrow. What is the big thing brewing? Clarifiers. Okay, that's interesting. Getting a similar kind of the last one wanted to be the one. Okay, let's see what we get. Situation, the signifier. Ooh, the wake-up call. Judgment. Judgment Day. What is the big thing? This has to do with, you know, the card before we make the big change, the final wake-up call. And that's clarified by, oh, the medicine wheel. How about that? There's some sort of medicine wheel, completion, wake up, enlivenment, creation of agency, something big. This is big. This is big, is what this is saying. And what's the challenge? Four of Wands. And this is about, you know, a marriage agreement, a commitment. It's a contract commitment. So there is something about this challenges what people are committed to. Like there's going to have to be people that walk away from some sort of commitment. The commitments they've made in the past are challenging. As clarified by the blade, which is that truth. That's like the blade of truth, the obsidian blade that slices through all the webs of deceit to free the truth. So what this is saying is that truth is causing them to reassess their past commitment. What we have control over in this situation is the Five of Cups, the disappointment. So we had control over the things that have been lost. We had control of them, and we still have some that we've now turned our back on and are not protecting. We have control over that too. And that is clarified by magic. Magic. So, you know, we had control over the machinations, the manipulations, the spiritual work, the spiritual underpinnings of our own disappointment. In the past, Wheel of Fortune. So, you know, there have been changing fortunes. In the past, it was good. That's sort of indicating that currently it's not. And that is clarified by taming the wind. Yeah, so in the past, you know, people may have been able to take advantage of the situation to go where the winds have blown them, to master the winds, to drive their ship to the port they want for good fortune. So this is telling me that the winds of change are getting too powerful now. It's no longer blowing them into port. It's blowing them into the iceberg. What we cannot control is the Five of Wands. That's chaos, internal division, the fighting, the working against each other. And that is clarified by the Seer. So I would say what we cannot control in this situation, whatever it is that's unfolding, is that there's going to be a lot of chaos seen. The kinds of things that people have known would come from this. It's like the natural, what you would expect, what your intuition would lead you to think could be the problem with people having to completely walk away from their life commitments because of truth that exposes them as having been false, evil, misleading, whatever, right? And in that situation, they cannot control how that will upend things and what they can see coming from it. What is the intention? What is this energy trying to achieve? The High Priestess. It's about revealing secrets. There's some attempt in this big event to reveal important secrets that are vital to our journey and well-being. And that's clarified by the lower world. So there are secrets secrets being exposed about evil, about the lowest human intentions. That's something's going to come out. Where this situation is, it creates, or how we see ourselves in this situation is more to the point. Nine of Swords, that's that nightmare. Like this is not going to feel good when this information comes out. It's going to create a lot of problems for people trying to figure out, what do they do now? This is like the worst possible outcome for what they had cast themselves into believing in the past. And that's clarified by the child. So this is about, I'm thinking this is more Epstein stuff. This has to do, with seeing ourselves and the children, the innocents, as being challenged. There's a nightmare situation for the innocent, is how we see what's going to happen. I hope that's not literal. It could be literal. The environment in which we sit is the Seven of Wands. That is a defensive mode, having to defend ourselves. I wonder if Venezuela will do something to retaliate for the extrajudicial murder of people on the high seas without due process. And this is clarified by the Sweat Lodge. Defending ourselves, and it's going to be something cleansing, something that reconnects us, it brings heat even. We shall see on that. Hopes and fears in the situation are the Knight of Wands. That's passionate actions. So, as clarified by Flow. So this tells me that there is hope and fear both in people taking passionate actions, going with the flow of passionate actions. This looks like a battle. This is like people are afraid this will escalate into more, or they're afraid that they'll have to take those actions to get things moving the right way. Outcome card, Five of Swords. This is about winning at all costs, some sort of wrenching back of power. You might think of it as abuse of power, but maybe in this case it's just standing on his power, and whatever is falling behind him. That two swords is dualistic thinking. So it's not a great outcome card, as clarified by the Hunter. Yeah, I think there may very well be some sort of military attack, something along those lines. Page of Cups. This is about some immature attempt to open the door to new energy. It's like bringing in an inspired act. That's not sounding great. That's sounding radicalized to me. As clarified by the Ghost Dance. The Ghost Dance is, for those of you who don't know what the Ghost Dance was, in the Red Roadways, both song, movement and balance, the drum, these things are all part of working with your intuitive energy and connecting with interdimensional and ancestral beings. And the Ghost Dance came through ceremony as a dance for the people to bring their culture and save their culture and bring it through the evil of colonialism to survive. And it's about working with the ancestors. It's to shape future events and opportunities for the people to thrive, right? For the people to live. So what we see here is that someone is trying to bring back their culture and live, and they're going to do this thing. So, I would say, looking at the cards, I should not be surprised if Venezuela attacks something. This could also be the Palestinians fighting back and attacking something that ends up involving children. There is something about to happen that's going to shake up the very foundations of what people have believed and been committed to until this thing happens. And then that's going to shift something. And it's going to, it looks to me like it shifts into some sort of intellectual abuse that involves a predatory component with the hunter. Well, I am not sure what to say beyond that. We'll just have to see what happens between now and tomorrow, and then we can judge how accurate this reading ended up being. Hold on, I'll bring you up and we'll close it out. Well, it's not really what I expected at all, to be honest, but given the situation that occurred over the last week with the Trump administration killing 11 people without any due process, no proof, for possibly being traffickers, not terrorists with bombs set to kill someone or that attacked an American ship, just a boat of people that they obliterated because they wanted to. And that is an act of war, and that is an international war crime. And it seems to me from this reading that it may very well lead to some sort of retaliatory event that is going to be very difficult and force a deep reflection on the part of the American people about their commitment to an administration and a presidency that clearly shows itself to be illegitimate, illegal, and unstoppable unless we stop it. But let's see what the cards say, and let's see what the events say and how they relate to this reading. I could be entirely wrong. And this is entirely for entertainment purposes only. So hang in there. I love you guys. And this too shall pass. It really will. We will get somewhere as a world that is kind, that is compassionate, that appreciates every soul that exists in the planet, be it the soul of the tree or the soul of the human. And we will be able to work together and create a really amazing world for all the living things in the life field. And so I encourage you to hang on. It's going to be worth the wait.